Greetings, dear students of truth, welcome to our message. Never doubt that both personally and globally a divine plan is unfolding. It was never meant that Earth remained forever a planet of three-dimensional energy governed by illusory beliefs of duality, separation, and two powers. Eons ago, souls still in spirit form chose to experience what it would be like to feel separate from God. However, over time they began to forget that their experiences weren't real. Some became lost, trapped in illusions of separation that they themselves had chosen, and separation became their state of consciousness, allowing manifestations of density to begin. Some remembered who they were and wisely chose to no longer play the game, but many did not. This is the story of the fallen angels. Earth is now ready to evolve beyond the ancient energies of separation that have ruled for so long, because separation never has been a reality. People were not meant to live in fear, vulnerable to all the mind-formed creations of material sense and separation. You are divine beings, always have been and always will be, but the belief of separation has become so deeply ingrained in Earth's collective consciousness that evolving beyond it must be a process. Everyone must clear old but still active energy accumulated over having lived hundreds of lifetimes before they can fully align with the higher frequencies. As increasingly more spiritual light energy pours to Earth as part of the ascension process, ancient dense energies that have long lain dormant in Earth herself are surfacing. The same thing is occurring with individuals. Old energies that have been stored and carried in cellular memory from lifetime to lifetime are also surfacing in order to be acknowledged and cleared. Large clearings, those in which certain beliefs were active in more than one lifetime, usually take place in increments that often begin with some physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual experience that causes them to believe they have somehow failed. Clearing experiences can range from the devastating collapse of one's whole belief system to the simple realization of some belief that needs deeper examination. Most people are unaware of energy needing to be cleared because it was accumulated and stored in other lifetimes, which is why clearing experiences often seem to come out of the blue. A great many clearings take place in the dream state. People, places, and situations remembered or people known in this lifetime playing different roles. Clearings usually take place in increments when more than one past life was involved in the same way, an ancient religious group or cult, religious orders, or a school of thought that demanded vows and oaths. Look on your clearing experiences as graduations rather than something to dread, in the knowledge that the dissolving of old energy will leave you on a higher energetic level than when you were carrying it in your energy field. Some, believing that they can go backward in their evolutionary process, live each day continually alert to every bad thought that may come floating through their mind in fear of spiritually failing or regressing. It is impossible to revert to a previous state of consciousness once you have evolved beyond it. Yes, old and familiar thoughts will continue to come and go for a while, but human thinking and consciousness are not the same thing. Many have tried to go back to an easier earlier time, but the spiritual evolutionary process does not allow a person to go back asleep once they have awakened to some aspect of truth. Spiritual realization can be very inconvenient when a person has gotten used to a familiar, comfortable lifestyle. A truth realized can be ignored and often is, but the nagging influence of the realization always remains, popping up when least desired to spoil the fun. Every person at some point will awaken to their true selfhood. It cannot be avoided because it is the reality in spite of appearances to the contrary. Every individual, sick or well, good or bad, rich or poor, smart or stupid, is a manifestation of God divine consciousness simply because nothing else exists. Either there is an omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient divine consciousness called God, or there isn't, and free will allows every person to accept or deny this, but the choice they make can never change or affect the reality. Never believe that an infinite God can be understood with the finite human mind, for it cannot be done. Many have tried and many falsely believe that they have done it, but the human mind limited by three-dimensional concepts and beliefs that can never comprehend the vast realities of divine consciousness. However, God can and does reveal itself to those prepared and receptive, which is why meditation plays an important part in the spiritual journey. The real purpose of true meditation is spiritual alignment with Source, and not for attracting something desired, having experiences, seeing colors and visions, hearing voices, or just to relax. Have no desires when you meditate other than to align with and rest in oneness with the divinity of your own being. This contact may or may not manifest then or later as more light, more awareness, healing, or answers needed. You may experience something during meditation and you may not, but this does not invalidate the meditation. As with all things, your intention is important, and with meditation should simply be alignment with Source within. The higher self is that facet of you that has never left conscious oneness with Source and is continually guiding your spiritual journey, because it is you. Your higher self draws to you the experiences you are spiritually prepared for and that are necessary for attaining a higher state of consciousness. You will never get experiences beyond your ability to learn and grow from, although it may not seem that way when you are feeling overwhelmed in the midst of some intense difficulty. We wish to speak once again about love and remind you that love is all that exists, because it is the energetic connection flowing in, through, around, and between the infinite expressions of one divine consciousness. Love affects, is a part of, and influences everything. Love is the omnipresent harmony of one, but on earth is interpreted through windows of duality, separation, and two powers forming love's many ego-based false creations. Love is often used to physically, emotionally, mentally control, or abuse another, and is frequently an excuse to fulfill ego desire through activities involving guilt, force, dishonesty, or false victimhood, as well as hundreds of other self-serving actions. More often, love is seen only as being an emotion rather than a state of consciousness. Concepts of love as just being sex, romance, and attraction constitute a large part of the three-dimensional illusion. The reality of love is oneness, the connection eternally flowing between all expressions of the one, manifesting itself as the many. In the world you can observe higher forms of love as service that is not governed by ego-based do-gooding for adulation and praise, in the non-judgmental acceptance of the choices of others, and in those always ready to assist another who may need, not simply want, help. Important to make this distinction: the inability of the three-dimensional consciousness to comprehend love as oneness has resulted in the distortions of love presently alive and well on earth and continually promoted through film, television, books, etc. The intensity of light energy now pouring to earth is awakening many to a deeper sense of dissatisfaction with regard to many commonly accepted concepts about love. The result is going to be seen in changes to beliefs regarding relationships of all kinds. Previously accepted and limiting concepts about love in general are beginning to change as a higher sense of love and its expression begins to permeate the collective. The majority as of yet does not know that the reality of love is oneness, and those only able to accept love and relationships in narrow and often religiously based ways will fight change while continuing to judge and condemn those able to understand love in its broader sense that is more in line with the truth of oneness. Rest in oneness and simply be an observer who knows that in spite of appearances, God is the only power and reality. When you live, move, and have your being in this realization, the light of your consciousness touches every other consciousness able to receive and align with it, because there is only one. You are doing what you came to do simply by being your highest light. Never doubt this. We are the Arcturian group,